What's the role of education in globalization? According to what I had seen and heard in the University of Celaya, education can serve the needs of globalization, but I don't think that's all about education. My biggest takeaway from its study abroad experience is that education can not only serve, but also lead globalization. Why do I say education can lead globalization? First of all, education shows us how to treat culture properly in this globalized world. During the process of globalization, more and more countries and people are linked together. Therefore, many regional issues are no longer remaining as others' problems. They become our problems too. We visited an immigration shelter in Mexico City. This shelter works to support migrants, refugees, asylum seekers, and migrant crime and trafficking victims in Mexico City. We also participated in a lecture about Central American migrants. From this lecture, we learned that since many migrants have no official paper or enough money, so they choose to travel through Mexico en route to the United States by standing on the roof of the trains. Riding atop the moving trains exposed those migrants to physical dangers and organized crime groups. Even when they survived from this horrible train trip, few of them can make it through the desert area near American border. Besides this, the American government increased its security along the border. Due to this, many migrants choose Mexico as their new destination country.
Nelson Omar Chilel Lopez was born in April of 1997. Family and friends simply call him Omar. He grew up amid the coffee farms of El Porvenir, Guatemala, a poverty-stricken area located about an hour south of the Mexican border. Seasonal work is labor-intensive with little pay, picking coffee beans for about 8 cents a pound. In search of higher-paying work, his mother Fermina left her family behind in 2006, crossing illegally into the United States and settling in Phoenix, Arizona. Omar's older brother and older sister soon followed. He was left behind. Crushed by their separation, Omar convinced his mother in 2010 to pay a coyote to lead him and an older family friend through the Arizona desert. Omar was 13 at the time. Should we help them? Should we stop them? Fermina sends $800 to cover the cost of the first part of their journey. On July 6, the coyote calls Fermina. Doña Teresa and Omar are part of a group that will cross into the Arizona desert that night. In a few days, they will arrive in Phoenix. They were crossing the desert at the peak of the summer heat. Should we have helped them? Should we have stopped them? Almost 2 years later, the partial skeletal remains of an older woman and a young boy were found in southern Arizona, and Fermina was finally reunited with her son. Omar's story is representative of a new trend on the border. In 2013, authorities apprehended nearly 14,000 minors, twice as many as in the previous year. Should we stop them? Should we help them?
Should we stop them or should we help them? Because of the process of globalization, migration becomes more and more frequent among countries. Visiting the shelter raised my attention toward global issues like immigration, especially toward those undocumented immigrants. I also learned that pop culture cannot replace local culture. In Guanajuato, we experienced a wonderful combination of Western culture and traditional Mexican culture. Many tourists in Guanajuato are attracted by its uniqueness, and this same uniqueness becomes part of the world popular culture. Instead of hearing local people speak English, I heard foreigners use Spanish to communicate with local people, including us. We had Spanish classes. We visited orphanage, universities, high schools, and community centers. These different places showed one thing in common: student volunteers. For instance, they provide various after-school activities for kids in the orphanage. They help community residents to repair their houses and repave the roads, and they serve as psychologists, lawyers, tutors, and doctors in the community center. So what's the purpose of doing these things? We heard same answers from different educators. One reason is that these volunteer experiences can foster students' sense of social responsibility. The other one is about raising students' awareness about social gap and how to build an equal society. There are many other fun ways for us to experience Mexican culture. We tried lots of delicious food, had a wonderful dinner with a big, happy family, practiced our Spanish and various non-verbal cues with our host family, got charged on the top of Pyramid of Sun, saw huge cactus, visited many museums, enjoyed local music show, walked through beautiful alleys, astonished by the underground roads in Guanajuato, taught an English class in elementary school, communicated with local teachers, and found out similarities between Chinese dragon and Mexican feather serpent. A legend says that the figure of Chinese dragon and Mexican feather serpent are originated from the same source. I don't know whether this is true or not, but I did realize that even different cultures share some similarities. This might serve as the foundation of mutual understanding among countries or groups. Speaking of culture, this study abroad program not only let me get charged on the top of pyramid, but also on my interests about culture and other related things. This totally beyond my expectation about this travel, but we never know what we will learn from our new journey, right? Okay, time to wrap up. So based on all these experiences, what did I learn from this study abroad program? First, I learned that education could prepare qualified talents to support the process of globalization. Like what we had seen in University of Celaya, their students got well educated in professional skills so that they can easily find a good job after graduation. Second, education can lead globalization by fostering communication among groups and individuals. Globalization is a two-bladed sword. On one hand, it accelerates the exchange of talents and resources among groups. On the other hand, it brings new problems like immigration and large social gaps. We can rely on governments to solve these related problems, but education can do this in a better way. Because education can connect people from different backgrounds, can encourage different groups to work together, can cultivate students to act for social justice, can provide various opportunities for people to learn from each other and understand each other. Last but not least, education gives people the ability to enjoy their life during the process of globalization. For instance, without this study abroad opportunity, I may never have a chance to experience Mexican culture in different Mexican cities. Without education, the orphans and immigrants may find it harder for them to realize their dreams. Without education, these two ladies might have no idea about combining Chinese dance with Mexican dance.